All right, all right, all right. Let those notifications go out and add that a curve. Let's see what we got going here. All right, that's right, that's right. We made it. A few minutes late. I had to use the restroom before getting up here, y'all. If you must know. Listen, yeah, this is a really, really, really intriguing revelation because yesterday, now those are the kids outside, y'all. They're on the playground. And yes, okay, you also had a minor revelation sound RF that sometimes the RF sound runs from low to high. Exactly. Goes both ways. Yep, it sure does. And I know this would be more of a topic that I would cover most on the Patreon channel. But I wanted to do it in the Truth Seeker podcast today because it's part of truth seeking, right? After all, we've been lied to since birth about a ton of things. And for those of you who have seen the video on the Patreon channel, Dust to Dust Revelation, I know that sounds bizarre, but it's those dust bunnies. Okay, those dust bunnies get activated with there's salt in there. And it's really intriguing because I've been witnessing that. I've been watching it. So I'm going to provide a few examples for you all because just this morning, when I was making my protein fruit smoothie, I had to use a little. I've got a mini bullet. Okay, so of course that's low frequency with a low rumble, low vibration. Okay, just follow me here. Just follow me because I'm telling you, we seeing what we seeing, and we hearing what we're hearing. But we do learn to tell the difference between hallucinatory effects of the ANN, especially during the detox. But yes, the frequency, you've got the highs and the lows, and then sometimes it goes from low to high. Okay? And so it's really important to understand that this is all part of things that, well, the devil just doesn't want people to know these truths because if once we know these truths, well, there's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, I want y'all to think about it. Okay? Like I've said on the Patreon channel and elsewhere, that if we knew these truths about insects when we were kids, then we would have never been afraid of them. Let that sink in. Okay, remember, the enemy is all about keeping people living in fear. Because living in fear, you ain't going to walk by faith and live by faith. And so there's a lot of ways that the enemy's trying to keep people living in fear. And that's what he's doing. A lot of people don't even know that they're living in fear. Yeah. Just today, the enemy did try to instill some fear. All I did was go to the front office and I said, hey, what's up? And there was a logical explanation. But see, the app, right, it doesn't know. Okay, that network doesn't know that there's changes going on inside the office. And they said, it's all good. They're working on it to get it all back up and running. We good. I knew that. I said, yeah, I know. I said, the enemy trying to play head games. Remember something. When you realize that that's all the devil got is head game, that's it. It gets a lot easier going forward. Now, some of y'all might have to remind yourself of that from time to time. And so after I got that, and I was like, okay, want me to go in and relink, and now they're not seeing my property. I'm like, hold on a second, that don't sound right. So I went and I asked, go straight to the horse's mouth, because there's likely a logical explanation in the what. Okay, that's it. And so it's like, right. So we don't allow ourselves to sit there and dwell on that over and over and over again, trying to scare us. Okay? But it's not going to work on chosen ones. Once we get to that other side of the rainbow and we've got that balance, meaning we are emotionally regulated and we are able to maintain that. Okay, that's what that means when you get that balance between the spiritual and the physical. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Truth Seeker podcast on the YouTube channel. Narcissism and cognitive dissonance, just one of many places with Consultant for Heightened Awareness, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center, while combating radio frequency for. So as part of the combat against radio frequency, well, we have to learn about it, right? We have to learn about it. We have to know about it. And God needs us to understand how it is used and how it is a large part of our daily lives. Way more than we ever could have imagined. Okay? And so, yes, the Heavenly Father has me back into using the muscle. All right, you all? So for those of you who may not be there yet, keep going, because God's going to get you back there. Remember, sometimes He has to get us all the way back to basics before He brings us back. Okay, now. So it's like little baby steps, things like that. Okay, so like I talk about on Patreon, those dust particles, okay, those dust particles contain salt. Because again, when my guitar needs a good dusting, I pick it up and all I can taste and smell is that salt coming from that dust. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason I would never have noticed that before, while I was smoking cigarettes, I wasn't not able to pick up on that. You see? Because when we stop smoking cigarettes, our senses improve. And what do we know about the autonomic nervous system? It is dependent on our 5 senses. Okay? Our sense of taste. Oh, for whoever's on this detox journey with us, do not get discouraged. Okay? Remember this very important point. All right, as you are reducing your sodium intake, your taste buds are going to fluctuate. It's going to change, but you will get used to it. So let's say you make a superfood one day and you're like, oh, okay, you can sense the soothingness. The next day, you don't really sense it. Don't get tricked into dumping it. It didn't go bad. I guarantee it. All right, drink it, eat it anyway. All right, put a little more garlic in there, something, whatever you need to do for your liking. Okay, I know we're not eating to please the flesh, but if your taste buds are not agreeing with you, that's because it got to readapt as well. Your taste buds will adapt. Your palate will adapt, okay, to a lower sodium diet, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Now, when you quit smoking cigarette, that also changes. That your taste improves, your smell improves. As far as the eyes and the ears and the touch, yeah, that is very dependent on whether or not we need these glasses. Okay, and then as far as the touch, yeah, you're going to start to notice how excess salt causes your fingers to get slippery when you wet your hands. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, we didn't notice that before. Now we do. Because excess salt on the inside of the body, and then we meet, especially if we're using hot water. So in order to mitigate that slippery, we're going to get to it, the low frequency, but this has got to come out as part of the detox tips, okay? If you notice your fingertip getting a little slippery and you're using warm or hot water, switch it to cool or cold water and watch that go away. Because what's happening is you've got salt on the inside of your hands too. And so the salt in the water, hot water opens up your pores. Okay? So there you go. So to mitigate that. And the reason to make it slippery, right, make it hard to grab things, right? And so you're likely to drop stuff. And then maybe even still be a little accident prone. Okay? Never forget, it all ties into the spiritual battle inside that matrix. Right? The spiritual battle between chosen one and narcissist. Okay, remember, first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Glory be to God. All right, now, here is what happened while making my smoothie this morning. All right, my little mini bullet. Right, it's a little mini. It's like a mini mixer blender. Okay, and so I use it for my smoothies. It really is the best investment. Of course, I could use the big blender, but I like to save that for my superfood. I even use the mini one for my fruit juices as well, because all I gotta do is put a little water in there, and then whatever fruit, get it blended real well, put it in the pitcher, and then add more water. That's all I gotta do. It's real simple. Oh, living the simple life in God's reality. Let me tell you, it's beautiful. All right. So, right, and now mind you, I've taken my vinegar water rag, right, and I keep things wiped up, right? But overnight, it's what it is. What it is. Dust is dust. Okay. It's good. I mean, I don't know if there may have been a sound while I was sleeping that could have activated one of those dust bunnies. Who knows? All right, but we're not going to get every single dust bunny up when we dust. That's just a fact. That's why we got to stay on top of it. So apparently there was a small one, I mean, really tiny one, just sitting there underneath because I got the stove light, right? What is that light? It's an LED light. It's a high frequency LED light. So it serves as an incubator, if you will. So I make my smoothie. Well, in order for this one to be made the way I wanted it, I had, because we did a double up on the protein. So, right, because we're using these. I was like, I need you up the ante. So, double protein. And so I had the banana first with a little bit of cocoa powder. Okay, remember, cocoa, it has potassium. At least a good 200 milligrams per scoop. So, yes, right, and I have the banana and a little water. I mixed that first. Well, I had to drink some of that down so I could add my strawberries. But as exactly, because that got activated, right? Out of the blue on my cutting board, just out of nowhere, this little sucker. And so I said, oh, okay, where did you come from? The dust bunny. And when I wiped it, I turned it right back to dust. Dust to dust. I thought, oh, okay. Yeah, because I was standing right there watching. It didn't just creep out of behind something. No, it was brought to life by that frequency and vibration. And because it was underneath that LED light for the right amount of time. Yeah, I mean, it's wow. And so if we knew these truths growing up, we would have never been afraid of them suckers, huh? That's right. And so now we realize, yeah, well, see, as an adult, we're not afraid of them. But I would tell you something, that they do emit radiation because they are activated by radio frequency. So just like when we have too much salt on the inside of our body, right, and our internal heat is up, okay, just we radiate. Okay, and that's how we activate the hallucinatory ones while the salt's too high. As our salt on the inside goes down, that fades away. And we start, there's that season where we start to catch ourselves trying to hallucinate. We go, We tell the ANS, no. Right? Yeah, because we can start to notice when the ANS going to try to do that, even with our own shadows. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah, and we're going to cover that here in just a moment, Chris, because that's a really excellent point about narc and them. Well, because that adrenaline that goes along with the fear. We're going to get to that. But The enemy is all about keeping people living in fear. So it's not a surprise that these kinds of truths would be hidden in plain sight. Think about that, right? Little dust bunny is getting heated up by the LED light, and then I come along to make my smoothie, and the thing vibrating, right? Give just enough vibration to wake that little sucker up. Because I'm like, wow, you just like literally woke up out of my cutting board. That's neat. So, yesterday, y'all are going to love this. Yesterday, during the Motivational Monday show, the one where I talk about when God said no more. That's right. Motivational Monday show where we're talking about when God says no more. There was a moment in that episode where I was talking about how the enemy targets oxygen. Okay, remember that. And so tries to scare people. Listen, if I want to eat 2 hamburgers in one day, I can do that. And I have done that. I can have some chili with ground beef and then a burger for dinner. I have done that. Hello. What is beef? Iron. What do we get from iron? Oxygen and other nutrients. Don't forget, y'all, meat also give us B12 and other B vitamins and other nutrients, okay? Protein. So don't forget that. Very, very important. When you hear of fear-mongering, it's all about fear-mongering over health anyway inside that matrix, right? Everything you hear, fear-mongering. They want you to be afraid of this for your health. They want you to be afraid of this for your health. I'm like, kids, just eat healthier and trust God and then use that discernment. Learn to slow down a little bit. All right, and we learn these truths about frequencies and the vibration and salts, metal salts, because they're used to create. It's like I said on Patreon. It makes total sense. Because you know that God did what? Well, he created Adam from dust. And then from dust was his ribs. He created Eve from one of Adam's ribs, which was created from dust. That's why Job said, we came from dust, and to dust we will return. And so same thing with that little, I don't know what kind of little insect it was, but it's very tiny. And when I did my blender, that low frequency vibration and the LED light shining down as an incubator right on that cutting board, and then boom, it came to life. And I was like, well, bloop. But see, when it does that, it's gonna go looking. It doesn't move very fast because it was just born, if you will. So it's not gonna move real fast because it's gonna need to go and find some energy source, right? It has enough energy because of the frequency to wake up and move, but it's gonna go looking for some food. Right, just to sustain that. Well, that one just got turned right back to dust. Right. Okay, and we don't play around. So yesterday, during the Motivational Monday message, where I was talking about that with oxygen, there was a loud noise. Y'all catch it. And I told y'all, I said, I don't know what it was, but we know it was the enemy trying to distract us because I had just revealed the truth about makeup. Okay, that you do not have to replace your makeup every 3 months. No. Okay, that's just another trick of the enemy wanting to get into your finances, trying to trick you into being afraid of this or that or whatever. Okay? Right. So you do not have to. You can replace it when you run out. So, that being said, I just revealed that. And it wasn't but a few minutes after that, I got into the oxygen side of things. And we were talking. We were rolling with it. And there was a low frequency with a low vibrational rumble, cackle, if you will, whatever. I don't know what it was right outside the door, but I know that as I would continue to speak about that oxygen, telling God's spiritual truth, it started to get a little bit louder. Felt like it was getting a little bit closer to my door. And so that's why y'all gonna be able to hear it real well. That activated dust in my bathroom. Because guess what I found? My makeup box, right? Some of those makeup containers, like for eyeshadow and other things, and the blush, powders, yeah, those were in the previous environment, right, that was smoke-filled, cigarette environment. Right. So the enemy, but that's a brand new makeup box. I actually downsized. I get a new one because the other one was larger, but it was doing a bunch of funky, and it had way more. I had to get rid of it because it was not very easy to clean. And so I looked online, and I got a smaller one, smaller space living, and so I downsized just a little bit so it would fit better on the counter. But I usually leave my caboodle open because, well, we have our style, right? Okay. So that being said, I come back from my afternoon stroll. First thing I noticed, and then I made the connection to the lower frequency and the rumble because it shakes dust, activates dust. But that's what I found on places of the caboodle where the makeup that was in the previous environment was sitting in there. And I was like, oh, I see. You want to try and trick me into thinking I need to go, we brought everything out. We took everything out. We got our rag. We got our vinegar water. And we wiped up everything. We cleaned the whole thing. We cleaned the makeup containers as well. That's right. So I was like, yeah, no, we're not falling for that. But now our clothes, we are spring cleaning those because there are several items that obviously came from the previous environment. And I noticed that they still, even though I've washed them a couple of times, they were still holding on to a bit of that smell. So we are going through because I found behind there, I had to do some dusting, no problem. I said, aha, so it activated that as well. So everything that was in the bathroom that was in the previous environment that was holding on to cigarette dust, if you will, chemical that give off that smell, right? So anything that was in the previous environment, that extremely loud, distracting thing, which we didn't really get distracted. We knew that's what the enemy was trying to do because I revealed a truth about makeup. See, the enemy can't do anything but confirm that we're telling God's spiritual truth and other truth that we're finding out in God's reality. Because, again, we've been lied to since birth about a lot of things. And so we wanted to activate all of that in there because if I hadn't caught that, right, which it was pretty obvious because that greenish color of the dust lets me know because that's from because the dust is mixing with the chemicals from the cigarette smoke that attached itself to those items. So giving off that metal corrosion color. Y'all have seen a battery when it corrodes, right? That's the color I'm talking about. Yes. Okay, that's the color I'm talking about. And so it activated that color of dust over there. So we took care of all of that. And I started noticing, I took my rack of clothes and I said, oh, okay. I said, some of these need to go. We need to spring clean. And so God said, yeah, take inventory. He said, take inventory because when we first got here, right, I had bought 2 cami. And I wasn't thinking about whether or not I already had a dark gray. Why do I need 2? He said, okay, get a donation bag out. It says, it is what it is. It's been more than 30 days. So we're going to be like, all right, it's unfortunate, but now that we have our level of clarity back, okay, we're able to go, okay, so God's like, I need you to take inventory of these clothes and note which one need a wash. Well, some of the new clothes that I bought, I didn't even think about the fact, oh, that's right, they were in the store and they were doing what? They were being exposed to LED light pretty frequently. And I went, oh, so they too would maybe have a little dust in there, right? Clothing up. And I've never been one, I usually, because when it's new, I just go ahead and wear it at least one time before washing it. And God said, yeah, but you're going to have to change that. Okay, new lesson that I know a lot of people do when they get something new, you run it through the wash before you wear it. I was always the opposite. Now that's going to change, obviously, because we discovered that contributes. So I have quite a few items that were new, because remember, God said when we got here, he said, I got new, right? Remember, God always has new for his chosen one. Drop that in the comments below. That God always has new for his chosen one. Yep. God always does. He says he has new for us. Because there's a lot of things I had to get rid of because of the nicotine and all of that. Clothing wise, it's just they were not, stuff was just not coming out. And exactly. And so we didn't want to play around with that. But he told me, he said, yeah, take inventory, but I want you to take a note of all the new things that you have not washed yet. Aha. So we're taking care of that. Absolutely. Because it's important. It's a very, very important lesson. So we can keep this thing mitigated. And we're like, okay, learning more about the environment and then learning more about that, the frequency. So frequencies and vibrations really do play a massive role in all things. And so, yes, we have gotten rid of, we've gotten rid of the Windex because I discovered something else. Yeah. Vinegar water works just as well. And so, okay, let's see what. Yes, God always has new for his chosen one. Glory be to God. Thank you. Right. And we were talking about with the beef. Yeah, you want it to be lean. Now, mind you, there was a season that God had me getting at, and we know why. Because we're going through the detox. And so the same concept applies. Like, they say to get rid of excess water, drink more water. Okay, well, that does not necessarily apply to the salt. Okay? No. How God has us doing that, there's, maybe about 50% of that concept can be used when it comes to salt. It's just a matter of, don't consume. Okay, let's say you've gotten yourself down to 1,000 milligrams a day. Okay, and your new goal is 900. Okay, all right. Well, once you get down, I know when I got down to 300 milligrams a day, and we're talking about food. We're not talking about the air and other things that we're exposed to that has salt. Okay, this is food based only. So when I got down to about 300 milligrams, he had me do that for about I would have to say at least 3 days. Okay, sometimes he'll have me do that for a week, but at least 3 days of doing that. That's like what we call the super low, the ultra low. Okay, right, the ultra low, and up the ante as we start. That's right, we start to sweat more. And then on those days, we're doing the grazing. Okay, we'll have it and then for dinner, we'll have a nice solid bowl of chili spaghetti or something like that, or a burger, or another sandwich, tuna sandwich, what have you. Okay, but we'll graze, and then we'll have just that sandwich plate size, something or other. Even if it's an almond wrap pizza. Okay, But that we would save when we need to up a little on the salt. Like maybe go no more than 700 for a day. That's how God does it. To help with that, because you're drinking more water on the ultra low day when you make it there, right? On the ultra low day, and you up the ante with that water, right? I'm talking about at least 2 of those things full, okay, for the day. At least 2. And so once we get that, okay, put that in our circulatory system, right? Then let's say the 4th or maybe even the 5th day, God will tell me, he's like, I want you to take in just a little bit more. That'll be the day that I'll have a gluten-free personal size pizza on an almond wrap for the crust. Okay, that would be that day because of the cheese is going to have a lot more salt in it, right, than anything else I would take in for the day. So remember that about cheese, you all. Cheese does contain a good amount of salt. And so like today, right, he allowed me 2 small slices on my tuna wrap. Okay, 2 small slices because of the calcium that's in it. Okay, so I just wanted to give you all that. Yeah, we're going into the and more because the low frequency and low vibration stuff is just, oh, God said, he said, well, I ain't done yet. That's not all that he's going to reveal. So I would highly encourage y'all to subscribe. And you can even unlock more of this stuff on the Patreon channel for as little as $5 a month. I'm telling you. Yeah, more exclusive content over there. So, okay, so got a crazy itch on your shin bone. Yeah. Yep. That means that when you feel, some itching going on, okay, that you're not familiar with, that is part of the detox. That's your body's circulatory system pushing out. That's healing. That right there is part of the 20% legit that we've been told about, okay, in the world. That radio frequency poisoning causes itching, yes. But at the same time, as you're detoxing and you're healing from that poisoning, you're also going to itch where circulation is being restored. And then also, I know in my case, where there's been bruising, I'll feel some itching. Okay? And, right, and then when you scratch, okay, you may feel the air pocket loosen. So, yeah, nothing to worry about, no panicking necessary. Give it a little scratch, you're good to go. All right? It will go away. Yeah, it will go away. Okay, and another revelation too, that demon spirit compete over the human host. Yep. Very good. Of course, the demon spirits. Now, mind you, not the Jezebel, because the Jezebel has all of them. And the Jezebel, the demon spirits tend to, they favor the Jezebels. So they don't really compete over that human host because they're all like, when it's our turn, it's our turn. Whoever it is that Jezebel is trying to entertain. It typically is the part-time ones who haven't made it to Jezebel status yet. Okay? That the demon spirit will compete over. Absolutely. That's how it goes in the spiritual realm. So very good, Chris. Thank you. That's true. We'll dissect that a little bit more and bring you all more about that. Because remember, these narcissists think that we're in competition with them when we're not. That's why. Now, the Jezebel, they know that we're not in competition with them. And so when we were talking about the iron and the meat, yes, definitely want it to be lean. unless God instructs us otherwise, like he did with me. And I'm not one to usually go for the 85-15, but he had me go through a small season because while we were detoxing, he said, yeah, because of that concept, to get rid of excess water, you want to take in more water, right? Okay, so not too much, but enough to flush the system. So basically, because he said, okay, yeah, he said, well, burning fat. He said, but you're going to need extra animal fat to replenish, right? Not to replace, but to replenish, because our body stores what it needs for energy and cognitive functioning. Okay, and then other thing, but it needs. And so for a short season, he had me get the 85-15. And then now, like the blood type diet, Dr. D'Adamo suggested for the blood type is that if we don't find the lean like 93-7, at least 90-10. Don't want to go any more than that. And so we're doing just fine with that. But that's a very good point. You want it to be lean. You want your meat to be lean. And then, yeah, the new cotton clothes often have a lovely clean smell. You want, yeah, well, we're not in this life to please the flesh anymore. But I get what you're talking about. I know, clean, crisp smell, but right, God said I gotta quit. I mean, it was similar for me, but I never thought of it that way. I always just would wear it. I was like, let me wear it at least once, then I'll wash it, right? But now that's gonna change, because what we know about low frequencies and low vibrations and dust and the relationship with all of that, yeah, that's gonna change. Yeah, in the future. I don't need anything else right now. But I know there's going to be some things later on that are going to need to get replaced. But at this point, we're like, well, okay, that's right. And then cheese is salty, and if you're having a cheese sandwich, there's going to be more. Right, there's going to be more salt in the bread too. So you always want to keep that in mind. And that just reminds me of something else. Thank you. Okay, so real quick before I forget, I have some items that, that's right, that need to go in the wash that have not gone in the wash yet. So, yep. So we are going to take care of that. That's right. We are going to take care of that. Yeah, we're on the job. I just remembered some walking workout shorts that I needed, that they got to go through the wash. So, but yeah, you do want to always keep that in mind regarding the salt that's in the bread, and then the cheese, right? If you're eating a grilled cheese sandwich, you're going to be taking in at least, oh my gosh, a couple hundred, if not 300 milligrams in that, okay? In that by itself, at least. And then also, it will become second nature once you get to the level that you're most comfortable at. You'll know. You will know, because your body, you're just gonna know. You're gonna feel it, right? You're gonna feel it on the inside first, then the external will follow. You know how we're big on that? Focus on the internal, and the external will follow, because it's true. Okay, it's just a matter of time. And never forget, because the enemy is all about appearances. So revealing that about frequencies and vibration, man, it's a lot to digest, but it makes so much sense regarding what I'm learning about. And yeah, And it's amazing, though. I am very, very grateful for the Heavenly Father to be revealing these things. And then also letting me know that my contribution to the dust in here as well. So, oh, yeah, we're getting it down. We're getting it down. Yeah, got sandals right there by the door. Not by the door, but close enough to where when I walk in, those come up. These come off after going out and about. These come off. Those go on. These get washed. Oh yeah, let me tell you something. It works, and it also made me realize just how much since I've been here, just how much I was tracking in that contributed to what I found under the rugs. And yeah, so I was like, wow. Because never forget something else that's important about the dust, okay, is that because it has the salt in it, okay, and if it is, well, I was trying to figure out what was holding the heat. I was trying to figure that out. It was the rugs. Because, yeah, under and in the rug, even though I vacuumed them, there was a lot of the corrosion colored dust under there. And so the rug, the material on the rug, holding the heat, putting off the heat rises, right? That's right, heat rises. So that makes sense. Because I remember a lot of times I'll be standing here on that rug and I'm feeling this heat. And I'm like, where is that coming from? It's not coming from those lights I got up there. No, they're not even close enough to have that kind of a effect heat-wise. No, you got to be like literally right up on that, okay, for it to even do anything. Plus, remember, the internal environment has to be right. Excess salt, some sugar, mucus. It's got to have something to cook. So anyhow, so it made sense because as soon as I got rid of them rugs, that stopped occurring. I went, okay, this environment, nope. As long as we got some house shoes, we good because, I mean, I got a bath mat, but we're gonna stay on top of keeping that thing clean as well. So there's just something to take note of in this environment that is necessary, and then what's not, and also it's all part of changing that thinking too, because I came in here with apparently old habits, right? Old beliefs about what should go inside my residence, right? What I've been around my entire life is that this is, I'm not sure what kind of material, but I'm pretty sure definitely at least linoleum, but it's got the hardwood floor look to it. And so because of the old belief system, like in previous environments that had actual hardwood floors, there would be area rugs on the hardwood floor. So I came in here thinking, oh, that's got a hardwood floor look. We need some rugs. No, we don't. Not in here. And I'm going forward, be very mindful. I'm being very mindful of the things that, taking note of the environment real close before we go getting stuff that we know will become dust trappers. Okay? Because that's exactly what those things did. And I'm sure it probably depends on the type of material, but for now, we're good. We're good because we know about that frequency and vibration that activates that. And never forget, it also activates the heat. Because I was trying to figure out why in the bathroom area after I got rid of all of that, why it was still feeling like hot. Well, that's when I pulled my clothes back out and I went, that's where the heat's coming from. Because that loud noise yesterday activated the dust. It activated the salt, right? Salt is a magnet for the frequency. So it can heat up, right? And the molecule will expand. Yeah, just like it does on the inside of our body. So it's very important to understand that. So now, okay. Oh, that's awesome. The competition between demon spirits is something you learned from one of my videos. Okay. Thank you. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that'll let us know which one that helped you with. Okay. Yeah, area rug can help dampen the sound and echo. Sure. It sure can. I don't know. My nose is itching. That's a detox symptom. Yes, it is. Well, I got an ice cube with that one. Alrighty then. That's okay. But I'm not going to chew it. I would rather let it sit there and melt because it's nice and cold. All right, everybody. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, rugs do. Carpeting and rugs would definitely help dampen the sound and echo. And we really don't have to do that, though. I mean, the echo helps I mean, it's not that bad. But I believe that with this small space, as we found out, we don't need we don't need external microphones because they will pick up everything. Refrigerator. You know, there's something else that I'm noticing too, is that the refrigerator, yeah, when yeah, it does have a moan and a groan to it every once in a while. Yep, it sure does. So, still a lot more to take in, a lot more spring cleaning to get done, but we're learning. And I'm like, okay, because I have one of those Swiffer duster thingy, right? And so I got things pulled out enough now to where I'm like, okay, I want to get it to where I can take that thing and just go right along the baseboard. You know, keeping it simple. Stay on top of stuff. Yes. And so that's for anybody who needs that motivation. There are ways. Yep. Because that's what we did with this stuff yesterday, is that while we were doing laundry, we pulled it all out. That's right. We got behind it, baseboard, swept and mopped, vinegar water. Absolutely. And we're just going to keep on keeping on. That's right, because the Lord says we got to use these muscles now. Yeah, it's time. He said it's time. I love it when God says it's time. Now, let's put that in the comment. God says it's time. Because it's His appointed time. Yeah, that's right. For those who don't know, Chris has coined the refrigerator as a haunted, because it moans and groans, makes that noise, low frequency. Yeah, it's the haunted fridge. Yep, okay. The seals around the door being pulled and pushed, and the air releasing. Good observation. Good observation. Thank you. Yes, God says it's time. And when He says it's time, it's like, all right, let's do it. So, yeah, as we continue to go through our things and just kind of like, all right, learn more about how cardboard plays a big role in collecting dust. Yeah, have you ever thought about that? if you've got a box, right, a cardboard box, and let's say you're using it, okay, like I was in the previous environment, I was using it to store my my Swiffer duster. Oh, that one got left behind. I got God said I got all new for you down here because that stuff would have had exactly the same issue. All right, so because they basically took that stuff over anyway, because they asked if they could borrow it, and of course never gave it back, and I didn't care. Because I knew when I left I was going to get all new anyway because of that, being in that environment. So anyhow, but at the time I had one, I was using it to store that and a few other little items. Well, I remember when I started packing to move, I pulled that box out and I went, oh, wow. But it didn't really register for when I got in here that cardboard boxes are magnets for collecting dust over time. So now, whenever we, right, if I get my brown rice noodles, and that's what we did yesterday, also is that they're in cardboard boxes. So I took the noodles out of those boxes and put them in baggies, got rid of the boxes. So that's what we do now. So if I get a delivery, right, and it's in a box, I get whatever I need out, and then I get that sucker to the dumpster right away. I don't even allow it to sit here and collect nothing. That's how we staying on top of it. All right, y'all. That's all we got to do, so that we can basically cut down on the number of things that, right, that get activated. And so there you go. It's like God needed me to learn that, and that we want to be careful, because when you have certain things maintained or done to your home or what have you, you have to think about the chemicals. Remember, if there's not a frequency to activate or pain inside that body, if there's not enough frequency to do that, well, then there's going to at least be a chemical that will. But you got to be mindful of that. And of course, discernment. Now, I will tell you, there is a bathroom cleaner that I am going to continue using because it does not bother me and it works. It is what it is. So, but I learned that I don't need 2 or 3 different bathroom cleaners to do the job. You see, that's something I learned. Just one decent cleaner that gets the job done for the shower and the toilet, and we're good. As far as this out here, same thing, vinegar water. I mean, right? And then as far as the mirror or windows, right? Vinegar water. Vinegar water. It works. So we're finding that out. And as far as dishwasher, so of course I'm going to use those little tablets, of course, in the dishwasher. That's what they're for. And then bleach. I would say if we're going to have any cleaners, okay, besides laundry detergent and fabric softener, I would say that, yeah, I'm definitely going to have a little bleach water, obviously, because my green tea, it tends to stain, okay, sometimes the cup and the sink. So, little bleach water. And then one decent bathroom cleaner that gets the whole job done for the toilet and the shower. And then a bottle of my vinegar water. And then, of course, Dawn dish detergent. Very mild. That doesn't bother us. That's it, right? But when we do up dishes by hand. And Ivory soap. Aside from shampoo and maybe some body wash. But really, that's it. We don't need, right? I have the Swiffer duster. And as I showed Chris, the trick that I discovered by I just went and got a really inexpensive pack of wash rag. Right. I put one of those on, that Swiffer duster tool, take my vinegar spray bottle, Spray the floor, mop. Spray the floor, mop. That simple. So I don't have a bunch of buckets spilling over of soapy water and don't need it. So after I go over the floor with the duster pad, we put one of them wash rags on and vinegar water mop. And it does the job. It works. So, real simple. And the thing is, I know it's also going to depend on how large of a place you have as to how often or how many cleaners you may need. All right. I'm just giving y'all the basics for small space living. That's all I need to keep this place clean to my preferred level of cleanliness, which is pretty high. Okay, pretty high. Because we're not messy. Chosen ones are typically not messy. You know, we might have the occasional spillover like I did with some water earlier, but but you can wipe that up. So there you go, everybody. Just a little bit of transparency to share some tips with you all and things like that for healthier living, because I found out that where there's no frequency to cause that internal ping or pain, there's going to be a harsh chemical that will. And so you can, yes. Oh, thank you for that reminder. I got his license plate. I sure did. The stalker dude. That's right. I'm going to write it down right now. Thank you, Chris. All right, yeah, the stalker dude's license plate. You know, I mean, God already told me that He gonna take care of that. But He also, right, because I noticed that the vehicle was there as I was going around, and so I just made note of it, and then I went out and did my walk elsewhere. And disposable wash rags, actually, they aren't. Now, mind you, the pack of fairly inexpensive wash rags, they're washable. And so I've already washed up, oh gosh, a good handful of them from doing the dusting and cleaning and stuff like that. And they wash up just fine. But now, because the type of material, over time they might, over time they may fall apart. I don't know, but we can replace them when we need to. But they'll last, because there's going to come a time where, as we stay on top of things, spot stuff, knowing areas. See, this is what it is that I had to learn the areas that I'm going to want to pay attention to on a constant basis, like on the wall behind the fridge. Well, we're going to get something different going for this, but I've already got some of the books airing out in the trunk. But keep an eye on that area over there. And then, of course, right in the bathroom. And then, especially, the kitchen, and then where the Wi-Fi and smoke detector are, that's frequency, right? So I pay close attention. And the garbage can, keeping it wiped down. Oh, that helps a lot. Yeah, so it really is all a matter of just staying on top of things. When I see a little bit start to build up, that's when we're going to get that rag. Yep, we're going to wipe it up. And hardwood floors are hygienic carpet. Okay, and all sorts of dirt trapped in the thread. In the thread. Well, yeah, in the thread. I guarantee it. Oh, yeah. But this is not an actual hardwood floor, because underneath here is concrete. I know that. So this is, mean, I don't know. It feels like linoleum is what it feels like, but nonetheless, it's all good. Yep, got the license plate. That's right. Yeah, extra value. Absolutely. And so that's another reason why with this floor, we've got this system going where we've got a damp wash rag out of that pack, right? And so 2 pairs of sandals. Why not? See, there's always a reason that God has us get what he has us get. I want y'all to know that. It's so fascinating because I was like, yeah, I knew I wanted another pair that was both of them fit. It's just the one pair I got first. They're a little bit bigger than what I would prefer as far as out and about. So I wanted a smaller pair that would fit a little bit tighter. That's all. However, I know to be mindful, and I wear either one of them out and about. Now, it's just that was during the season where I had to be extra mindful. We're still mindful, but now, because I have both of them, I was like, oh, because God had to reveal to me how I was tracking in all that dirt. So even though I was sweeping and mopping, I found out that the Swifter wet mop makes the floor sticky. And I thought, okay, that's not good. I was like, that is not good. No, not for, because like sticky floor will do what? Trap dust. Aha. So, we're not doing that no more. And so, that's why when I come in here, I have 1 pair of sandals there, damp wash rag on the table, just sitting there waiting. So when I come in from walking, laundry, grocery shopping, whatever have you, right there, we stop, we change out our shoes because those have already been wiped on the bottom. And then the ones we were wearing when we came in, those get wiped up. Yep. And then if I'm doing multiple trips. And so I said, oh. And it may sound like a lot of work, but it's really not. And it's totally worth it because I've been doing it now over the last few days, and it is working miraculously. Remember, God is a God of miracles. And that's how he did it. I said, okay, I see why you had me get 2 pair. Okay. Another reason why. It wasn't just for a season of being extra mindful, but also for the future, for the day, where I would discover how to mitigate tracking in a bunch of extra dough. Because I thought about getting a mat for outdoors, but then I was like, yeah, but over time you're going to have to wash it at some point. But right after it stops trapping dirt out there, I said, nah, we're not going to do that. I said, I got a broom. I can sweep off the porch. It's not really a porch, but I call it that. I can sweep it off. All right, you all. And we have made it to the hour mark. Yes. The floor, it's smooth, so it's easy to clean. It takes a little, but we get it done. We get it done. We get it done. That's right. All right, everybody. So I want to say thank you again to all who have pledged service grant and to all who will. Yes, CHA accepts service grant. On the website, you will see a page in the navigation drop-down menu where it says CHA accepts service grant. There's a certain amount listed there. If you don't see the amount that you would like to pledge listed, that's what a PayPal link that's down below. Okay, and that's also in the description of the collection on the website as well, but the PayPal link, okay? So it's real simple, easy peasy. It's like Chris has told us that you don't have to have a PayPal account. You can pay as a guest. Okay, so it's awesome. All right, and thank you. Seriously, because that goes right back into the community, this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. All proceeds that come in go right back into, so I can continue to bring you all these spiritual truth that God reveals, and then also physical truths, because frequencies and vibration play a major role in our daily life, not just with the devices that we use, but with sound, things like that, all around. And it really is quite intriguing to be learning all of this and understanding, okay, that's all part of the battle. And so we got to combat that RF for healthier living. Okay, everyone? So keep on keeping on. Yes. It was definitely a very, how do you say it, revelatory Truth Seeker podcast. Yes. You're welcome, and thank you. All right, everyone. So keep on keeping on. And the links down below, I highly encourage y'all to just check stuff out. Check it out. We got courses. We got digital products, okay, available. The courses are online, okay, and they're put together relatively simple and easy to navigate. And we've got a lot of stuff for you all inside the Academy Forum. That's where we come together as well. And then the Patreon channel. Okay. Oh yeah. We come on now. We're going to continue building the kingdom of God, because this growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, we are kingdom family. So let's drop that below and say we are kingdom family. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.